guys, welcome back to the channel. John here. So our channel is a little bit different than other tractor channels you may watch out there, but hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome, thanks. If you're into tractors, tools, and trucks, this is definitely the channel for you. If you would, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and keep coming back for more. Guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a quick how to take the backhoe off the Mahindra Max, and this way we can use our 3-point implements. We're going to hook up the 3-point. I've moved the camera. You probably didn't get to see it very well on the last video I did, but it's pretty easy. You lift it up, you pull 2 pins, you lower it, you disconnect your hydraulics, and then you got to assemble your 3-point. The way I've got mine routed, it's a lot easier than most people. Some people have to do a lot of work to put their 3-point together. There is a bar in there. But we'll set this up and see how long it takes. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is fire up the tractor. And you wanna do this on some type of level surface, or at least a flat surface. It doesn't have to be perfectly level. Let our glow plugs warm up. All right, so we got the tractor on. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna raise up the tractor here. Normally you'd have your ROPS up if you're doing any type of excavation. Looks like our one tire there might be a little bit low. So all you're going to do is you're just going to lower these down to where they barely touch. One thing about the Max is she's pretty stout. All right, you're going to want to pull your pins. So there's 2 pins here. You're actually going to want to put your transport pin in the middle and remove your angle pin. So short pin up top goes in the hole. And I have to move it a little bit left or right. There we go. Get it to go in there. Once it's in there, then all you do, extend this out. And what I like to do is I like to put this flat plate with the teeth down. What you want to do is you just want it out far enough to where you can get some leverage. All right, so once it's planted, there's 2 pins right in here. And you're going to apply a little bit of pressure to those. And all you do is you rock the frame back so the pins are loose. All right, we got the pressure off. 2 pins right here. Pin number 1 and number 2. They just have a quick release on them, and you take those off and you go from there. Set you guys back over here, out of the way so you're safe. This way you can see what I'm doing. Take your pins out, and you can leave your tractor running for this part because you're actually going to take and you got to lift this up. So always keep your pins together is a good idea. All right, and all you're going to do is you press out to put it in the cradle. You're just going to rock it back, and then you're going to bring it up. So it should pop out of the, and we're clear of the frame. Now we can pull the tractor forward slowly. Now the hydraulics are still attached, so you don't want to go far. You just want to make sure nothing's pinched. Pull forward a couple inches. Set your parking brake. Then you're going to shut her down. Then you want to take your loader handle. You're going to want to wiggle it around. That will relieve all the hydraulic pressure excess on those fittings. Now, it's a closed loop, so what we're going to do is as soon as we disconnect these, we'll be ready to run our 3-point. And these all have little gaskets and covers, so make sure you cover everything up, put it up out of the way. And another thing is you're gonna have to check your fluid every so often. So there's 2 lines that connect together and the other one that doesn't. So these 2 on the tractor connect together. These 2 here, store them together. Try not to get too much dirt in there. As you can see, there is a little bit of leakage. Make sure you put your caps on, get all that bracketry out of the way. And then this hose, you're gonna connect as well. And so you just pull your collar back, push it together, and it's locked in. If you're running a PTO or something, this can be a challenge. Another thing is your top link, so you've got to be mindful of where your PTO is and your top link. So right now I got this routed on the inside. I may move that location because you don't want to pinch it below the 3-point hitch. So we're not doing any PTO work today, so we're not going to worry about that too much. This hose here, it can get caught on the 3-point, so it's a good idea to tuck that line up out of the way. And these will vibrate some, so just find a good place to stick it where it's not going to run in any interference, because it can get pinched with the PTO here. So we'll pull the tractor forward and then we'll do the 3-point the rest of the way. All right, make sure we don't have any hydraulic lines. Break off, pull forward slowly. Okay, put our loader down, set our parking brake. So yeah, it's a little bit of a process. So just so you guys can see what we're doing next, the way I've got this rigged, not all factories do this. So on the turnbuckles, I'll leave those tight and then I'll loosen them. They're almost max loose. So I'll have to tighten those up once we put everything together. Our ROPS is going to go up because we are going to be moving some dirt. ROPS is real easy on the Max. You just unclip that. Come over here, unclip this side. Flip that up, put the pin through. I put it through both pieces of steel. You could put it through here, but to me, I think it's safer going through both pieces of metal instead of just a pinch. But hopefully I don't ever need the ROPS, but it's there in case of a rollover or an accident, and that can easily happen when you're out messing around or out doing work. So real easy how we take apart this. So that only took 8 minutes from beginning to end to remove the backhoe. That's not bad. So our top link and our other links, you'll have to see them over here, are actually on the backhoe frame. So our top link is right here, and our arms that go to our 3-point are right there. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this frame out. Okay, this thing's pretty dirty because we've been digging in the dirt a lot. And like I said, the 3-point arms store nicely underneath the backhoe. They're still connected, they just don't rise on their own. All right, this is actually the same link we'll use for our top plate. So we'll pull up our bar here, leave this with our backhoe for when we need to hook it back up. And if you need to run an attachment with a plate, there's a nut on there, you can take it out, but for the most part we're just going to rock and roll with what we got. The arms are stored right here, so this arm goes to this side, this arm stored on the backhoe goes to that side. So it's pretty straightforward and easy. And your adjustable links on this side. And some of y'all are going to tell me I'm screwing this up or whatever, but really this is pretty easy stuff. And I do keep these pretty well greased. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to let off the hydraulic some so that can lower. All right, for our 3-point, put that on, pin it, let that hang. Take the other side here. Top link's got to come out. Set that top link down for a minute. Pull this side out. Slide that on and pin it. All right, there's that part. Now for here, you got these two that you took off that hold it in the frame. And there are some washers and stuff you can use. We're actually going to keep this on a higher setting for today, simply because we're not going to be digging real deep. We might have to go lower with the land plane, but I don't know. And then once again, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but that can be a bit concerning with those hoses there. There's a few nicks on that one already, and I've only used the 3-point a couple of times. So put that on here, put the pin through, make sure we get the right pin, pin through there. That pin's on, that pin's on. Return this pin to where it's stowed. This side here, you're gonna put the funny angle so it kind of goes square to the 3-point. Again, we're gonna use the top link for today because we're using land plane. We don't really want to go deep. And depending on whether you have a mower or something, you can hook that up. So this really isn't that bad. And this is similar on other models too. The 3-point you usually have to put together in order to use it. And as you can see, the turnbuckles keep it from swaying. And that's our pin for our top link. So we can take our top link here. Doesn't really matter which side we put in. I'm going to keep my adjuster up this way. And we'll just use the top hole for now. And that's usually what I use. And this gives you all the different kinds of angles you can use. So top link's in. All right, time to go get our quick hitch. Now, do you have to have a quick hitch? I don't think you do. But I think they're pretty handy. So what I like to do is I'll take the pin out of the bottom here, pin out of the other side here. And the nice thing about quick hitch is just pre-stage your pin on each side. You're going to lift it up and you can just kind of set it on there on each side. And then whichever one you want to start with, you can start with that one. So this one, we're going to start with this side. And all you're doing is you're pushing that plate through and then you're pinning it. All right. As you can see, it's kind of just sitting up there on the 3-point. If we need to lower it, we might lower it too, in case we're too high. And so this just goes through the holes, line it up with the spherical bearing in there, and lock it down. Same thing for your top link. Pull out your top link, lean that in. Put that in and lock it down. Now here you can actually take and you can get your top link and everything centered using your turnbuckles here, which keep the tension on it. You just turn these. They're pretty easy, turn by hand. I see a lot of people bend these and break them. I'm sure if you've got really heavy piece of equipment, you could do that. That one looks a little, but you can use the hitch down there to kind of line everything up too, which is what I like about the Max. It's a tractor, guys. It's made to be a little dirty. All right, so once you do that, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of play in there. You can actually take out a little bit more play. Now there's no lateral movement. You get a little movement with your pins to unhook. You do that and that. First thing we want to do is make sure all of our lines are out of the way, which I don't necessarily like those lines where they are at right now. This is one thing I don't know if Mahindra thought through, or maybe my dealer did it different. I wish there was a bracket or something where you just plugged up your backhoe. That would be nice, but there's not. So we're gonna let this, as you can see, that right there is plenty low for the attachments we're using. And then we can level it up as well. So before we even get back there, break that loose. And that's probably good for now until we get an attachment on there. And then this safety bolt just kind of keeps the top handle from turning. Now if you do a lot of up and down, as you can see, this hose here is kind of getting rubbed a little bit. This hose here fell, so that's like no bueno. You don't want that in the tire. You don't want it getting pinched. So we'll try to route it down that way. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot. So that's out of the way. These two lines here, Yeah, so that's sitting on the line, which is not good. That's a good way to blow a line. Same thing on that side. So we may have to disconnect that and reroute it. And so what your 3-point does is it just floats up and down. It doesn't have any down pressure, it has up pressure. So these arms here lift it and will lift the whole frame up. So if you do have backhoe, the only thing I'd consider is, it doesn't have to be real tight, but you definitely want to get these lines up out of the way to where they're not pinching anything. And great thing about zip ties is you can just get rid of them. So that's there. Put one here. And hopefully that'll keep the lines out of our 3-point hitch. And for this line, same thing, we can just take and zip tie it up here. You don't want these really rubbing each other. So if they run like that, just should be able to come in here. So there you go. 3 points connected. Hoses are clearly out of the way now. We'll go and go get the landscape rake and clean up the backyard some. Hey guys, we just got done with the project today, so I'm going to put the backhoe back on the tractor. That's just how I store it. It's probably the tool that I use more often. That and the easiest place to store a backhoe is on the tractor. So with that being said, we're going to do everything in reverse order that we did before. It took us about 8 minutes to break this down, and then we installed the 3-point. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the 3-point hitch. We're going to drop this all the way down. So that's down, out of the way. Take our pin for top link. We can leave that for now. You take your 2 pins on the sides here. Pull that out. I like to just sit it down, either there or on the ground. You can actually just go ahead and put the pin back in once you slide the arm out. That way it's there for the next time you want to install your 3-point. So click that in and do the same thing this side. Take 3-point off. Alright, let go of our top link and just stick that back in here for good storage, for good measure for now. And we'll set our hitch to the side in the garage. Right. Next thing we're going to do, take our top link off. You need to screw that back in because that's going to have to. Alright, that's probably close. Take our pin here off, and remember, this is a pin I use for the drawbar. So put that pin right there. And we're just going to set this here for now. So you want that loosely set in there. You don't want to tighten it down because it will bow the frame. So just leave it loose for now. These are going to go off and go back on the exact same place they did before. So pull that off. Alright. Leave our pin on there so we got it next time. Alright. This just slides right in here. Pull our pin, I'll show you on the other side. And sometimes these can be a bit of a pain to get on. So I keep these pins here pretty well lubed on the backhoe. Same thing this side. Pull out this pin. And we'll use those to attach the 3-point back to the carrier. Pull that off, slide that off, slide this over. So we got that. That's all out of the way. Now we need our carrier bracket. Get the dust off there. And the easiest way to do this, actually, loosen your turnbuckles almost all the way to where they're just dangling. Okay. Take your pin right through here. Now, I've seen some videos, people have washers and what have you. So that's that. Same thing on this side. We're going to loosen our turnbuckle all the way. Okay. That pin in. All right, our top link here just goes right into the bar. Into the drawbar. So that's through. And you can do those pins in any order you want. All right. All right, next thing we're going to do is back the tractor up. And what you're going to try to do is there's two hooks on the bottom. There's two eyelets up here at the top. You're going to want to line those up best you can. Sometimes you got to pull forward, then back it up. Okay, make sure you don't have any hoses in the way. We're pinching all these hoses, so pick all these up. Okay, we got the bottom in. So again, just like we did before, we're going to move the loader handle, let all the pressure off so the lines are easy to put back together. Fluid is definitely warm tonight. I use these zip ties, so we're going to have to cut those real quick. And we're actually just going to use a couple tin snips here. We didn't cut any of our hoses, so that's good. We'll let our pressure off, so this may drip some, but it'll be okay. So this will come through here. The top link, like I said, you can set it in there. If you want to remove it so you got more room, you can do that as well. Just don't forget to put your top link back in there. There's that. Here's this one. The nice thing about having that cover is they just kind of sit in there. But leave them up here until you get everything hooked up. And our last line here, which has a cap on it. All right, everything's hooked up now. Now everything's pretty well lined up, so we're gonna hop on the tractor, wait for the glow plugs. Okay. Now the key to doing this, is you're gonna drop it in first. So make sure it drops in. Once it's in, you're just going to take your thumb, tilt your bucket back, make sure you don't pinch any lines. And sometimes they'll pop. Luckily that didn't go on my foot. That's actually almost perfect. Funny enough. Not funny. All right, that's what we want. Make sure we got the right pin. There's that pin. Take our other pin here. Put that through the hole. And they don't always line up perfect on both sides. So this one, the bracket needs to come up a bit. So we took our big pin. It just slides. So you line these holes. Okay. And these pins here, put those back in. So you got them. Now your top link, we set to the side here. We'll take our top link. You want to tuck all that stuff out of the way. All right, you can move your loader handle again. Let all the power beyond pressure off. Take these hoses, tuck them in here neatly so you don't have any issues. They will jerk and jump and everything else when you're using the backhoe. All right. After that, we can fire the tractor back up and we'll call it complete. All right. Now we can raise the backhoe. Pull this in. Pull this in. Call our bucket. Then we're going to move our transport legs. You want to stay clear of the machinery. I'm about to take out the camera on that side. Most important thing to do is make sure you put your transport pin back in. If not, this backhoe does lose pressure and can fall through a wall. Same thing with your outriggers. Just having one of these cheap bungee cords works great. This one's got multiple holes. You can use it for tarps or whatever. All right guys, so with that being said, that concludes the project here. We've got Mad Max put back together, got the backhoe on, got the loader. Of course, we'll switch out pallet forks and everything else. If you enjoyed tonight's video, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, keep coming back for more. Hey, once again, appreciate everything you guys are doing by subscribing to my channel. We're almost to 300, and we've got well over 4,000 watch hours, almost 5,000 watch hours from all you guys watching these videos. So this one may be a little bit long. Once again, you guys get to come along for the ride, watch me build my dream, but true purpose of this channel is to motivate you to get out there and start building your dream.